Great evening, great evening, great evening. I am excited to have you join us tonight for a special edition of our Walking in Freedom live stream broadcast, FED edition. FED is our Freedom Economic Development Division here at Freedom Temple Ministries, in which we have committed ourselves to not only identifying the entrepreneurs and business owners within our immediate congregation, but we've also made an extra effort in supporting and promoting these businesses as well. And tonight, I am excited, I'm honored, I'm elated, and every other adjective and descriptive I can find to truly express my excitement in hosting our panelists tonight, as we are committed to sharing not only the Word of God that will enhance your spiritual lives, but also sharing vital and life-saving information that will help us improve our physical bodies. And I truly believe that God has blessed us with this experience that we call life. And we must do everything within our power to protect and preserve this body, this temple that our great God has blessed us with. And so I want you, those of you that have logged on and are part of this wonderful presentation tonight, please be so kind to share this information. Why don't you share this message and this link, host a watch party there on your Facebook page, email, text, tweet, invite a friend, call somebody. Let them know that life-saving and changing information is now available to them on our Walking in Freedom live stream broadcast. And I'm so glad to have all of you here. If you're on Facebook, again, hit that share button and allow someone else to truly be blessed by this valuable information tonight. If you're worshiping with us on our worship website, please share our worship website address with as many people as possible that desperately need valuable information to enhance and elevate their way of thinking and living in regards to how they care for their bodies, their mind, body, and soul. Well, I want to get right into it tonight. We are blessed. We are excited to have, in the midst of Women's History Month, I am nestled between two phenomenal women tonight. These women are leaders not only in their families, in their communities, but in their area of medical profession as well. And so I'm happy tonight to have with us Dr. Andrea Williams Broadnax. She is the proud proprietor of the Carolina Sinus Center in 2 locations, in Rock Hill, South Carolina, as well as Charlotte, North Carolina. And you'll hear from her momentarily. And then to my left, your right, another phenomenal physician, our very own Dr. Crystal Smith Maxwell, who is the new proprietor and entrepreneur of the Light Family Wellness Center there in Indian Land, South Carolina, and she too will share a little bit more about her practice, her journey into medicine, and I believe that by the conclusion of this presentation tonight, you will be motivated to seek out these 2 phenomenal physicians for your health, to be rather your health care provider. And so I want to start very quickly and simply by first saying thank you both for agreeing to be a part of our FED presentation tonight. We here at Freedom Temple Ministries believe in a holistic approach to addressing the spiritual, social, economic, educational needs of our local and global community, but we are also equally concerned about the body as well as the soul. And so I am grateful to serve with both of you in ministry. You are vital here at Freedom Temple Ministries, and we are all tremendously blessed as a result of it. And so I want to start with you, Dr. Williams, and ask, tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Where you're from? When did you first fall in love with medicine and desiring to become a doctor? So just say hello to everyone that's on tonight and just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, thanks, Pastor Crump, for inviting me. And good evening, everybody. I've been practicing for the past 20 years.
Wow.
I'm an old folk. Yeah, so originally I'm from Jamaica. You can hear the accent.
Yes.
And I trained in New York. And after training in New York, I wanted to get away from the snow. I was in Buffalo for 9 years. I was like, forget it.
They got real snow in Buffalo,
Yeah,
so
if
they
I
don't
don't
play
see
with it.
snow-
Now. It's snow.
If I don't see snow ever in my life again, that would be good. So I headed down south. And I came to Charlotte because Charlotte was a really nice area that's growing.
Yes.
I thought it would be a good place to move to. And I joined the practice. And after practicing for 2 years and understanding medicine, the business of medicine, and building my confidence, because when you just come out of residency,
Yes.
at first you're like, I need to make sure I know what I'm doing. Then I decided to venture out on my own and open my own practice. And I started the practice in Charlotte.
Now, you have to tell them specifically, what is your area of expertise? Now, let me say it first, and then you can correct me, because I know it's going to be wrong.
Go on, give it a
You
shot.
are a otolaryngologist. Otolaryngology.
Perfect.
Listen,
Otolaryngologist.
that's why you are what you are, and I'm not. So please tell them,
Ear, nose, and
ENT specialist, yes.
Ear, nose, and throat. Yes, ear, nose, and throat. So we specialize in the surgical and medical management of any ear, nose, or throat problem on babies, adults, male, females, and it's truly a nice combination of medicine and surgery. We have a location in Charlotte, in Rock Hill,
Yes.
and then we also, I like to say, we bring big town medicine to the smaller communities. So I have 3 other satellite locations in Gaffney, Union, and Concord.
5 locations.
Yes.
Wow.
But we go out and we take care of the community.
Yes.
And I have really enjoyed having a practice and being able to make the decision to go out and serve communities that need it. And it's just been truly a blessing. Yeah.
And I'm excited because you being here tonight with Dr. Maxwell, I believe, is not only an encouraging presence, but also a confirming presence that when you step out on faith and you step out into that vast moment of entrepreneurship, the place of the unknown. We talk about Peter stepping out of the boat, but both of you literally stepped out of your comfort zones in order to start your businesses. You 20 years ago, and to our new physician, Dr. Crystal Smith Maxwell, the proprietor of the Light Family Wellness Center. Tell us about yourself and when you started.
Thank you for having me. I am originally from Mississippi, been in Charlotte since 2010, and was an employed physician doing family medicine. I'm board certified in family medicine, so
Yes.
I treat everyone from babies to adults to the elderly. And was employed for 10 years, and October 1st, I opened the doors to Light Family Wellness.
Yes,
Which is
congratulations.
Inland's first direct primary care practice in the area as well.
That is an amazing accomplishment. We have 20 years of ownership, 1 year of ownership, and this is just a confirming experience that if God gives you a vision, if he gives you a plan, and you step out on faith, he will allow that vision to come to manifestation. And I salute both of you, especially during this time that we're in. This month literally marks 1 year since COVID has just run rampant through not only our nation, but as I'm sure many of you are aware, this globe. And we here in the U.S., unfortunately, we were playing catch up in our plan and strategy of trying to eradicate this virus and even get a handle on the spread of this virus. And I'm sure that when COVID hit, it did not just affect the sports world or the entertainment world, the education community, the business community. It also affected those of you like yourselves on the front lines. You frontline healthcare providers, I'm sure that COVID has impacted your businesses as well. You 20 years in business, you 1 year in business. How was the impact of COVID on your business? And let me start with you, Dr. Maxwell. Just starting out, you had a vision, you were starting out, all of a sudden COVID hit. You woke up feeling what? Like, God, are you sure?
Exactly. Are you sure? Because things were closed, and I was in the process of negotiating a lease. So do I move forward with the lease? Do I risk, you know,
Do I get COVID credit
yeah, do
for
I
the
get
building I
COVID
can't
credit?
use? I
So
mean,
there were a lot of questions, you know, trying to figure out what do I do next? Do I
Right.
proceed forward? Do I risk losing this space, which was a perfect space for me, being right next door to urgent care, dental practices, a physical therapy practice? Do I risk losing this space? Do I really need to have a actual office space? A lot of those questions I had to pray about.
now
it.
you're preaching.
Now-
Somebody's saying, what do you do when you don't know what to do, but you got to do something?
Had to pray about it. Had to
Yes.
pray about it, and I did move forward with the space. It's a beautiful space, and now we've done our ribbon cutting, and it's everything that I could have dreamed for the practice.
Wow,
So,
that is amazing. And I'm sure you were nervous. I mean, you were signing contracts, you were remodeling a space or fitting out a space, and in the midst of that, there are restrictions. You know, and what were some of the restrictions that you faced since COVID hit and you're unable, and especially being an ENT specialist, you're in their mouth, you're looking in their nasal passages and things of that nature. How did COVID impact the sinus center?
Well, first, everything came to a halt.
Yes.
Because I had to worry about my employees' health, our patients' health and well-being, and my own health. And we needed to make sure we had the right PPE equipment. We also had to make certain changes to the practice so that we could service our patients without putting them at risk. So, I mean, we shut down for a month and transitioned to telemedicine, so thank God for technology.
Yes.
So we didn't actually lose our patients, but they were able to reach us and we were able to help them. But with ear, nose, and throat, you really need to look in the little areas and see what's going on. So we had to open up as soon as we could and once we were ready. So once we had enough PPE and we could protect employees and patients, we started installing air purifiers and ventilation system to pull any infected air out of the different offices so that we could carry on with surgeries.
Right.
Yeah.
So you were still performing surgeries in the midst of COVID.
Well, we shut down for a month. And we
Wow.
did until we had N95 masks,
Yes.
etc. And then the operating rooms actually closed for a while because they wanted to reserve the medicines and the ventilators and everything for COVID patients rather than elective surgery. But once they opened back up, then we're still doing it now in COVID, but at least we have the testing.
Yes.
So we can test our patients. We ask them to quarantine before surgery. Yeah, and everybody wears their mask. Now, fortunately, all our staff are vaccinated. So, yeah, so that we've come a long way.
And it had to be hard trying to navigate between operating a business while also protecting your staff while simultaneously trying to serve your patients. And that's where many people don't realize that COVID put such a strain on businesses. Some people are looking at it as, well, they're just losing money. No, you have, as physicians and medical professionals, you've established relationships with your patients. And for many of them, they needed that line of communication, those appointments and things, those medical visits that came in for their exams and things of that nature. How were you able to continue to serve your patients and serve those that were in need, even in the midst of COVID? What changes did you have to make as a physician? I know you're hands-on and in a room and things of that nature. What are some of the changes that you had to make? Not only were you trying to outfit an office space of your own, what other creative measures did you have to put in place in order to serve your customers and your patients as well?
Well, one of the things I'll say that I miss, and probably everybody misses this a lot, I'm a country girl and I'm a hugger. And so one of the things that I always did with my patients was a lot of them got hugs.
Yes.
I couldn't hug my patients. And
Sounds
for
like
those-
Freedom Temple. We're a hugging church, so I don't know
Yeah.
what we're going to do when we get back.
More hands
My
off.
kids, when they came in, they received hugs. Especially if there was like a depression, anxiety issue going on with the patient, they were dealing with some stressful situation. For some of them, having somebody to actually embrace them was one thing that helped them more than any medication could.
Yes.
So not being able to do that was one of the hardest things to do. and to remind myself of safety precautions.
Yes.
And so, just those little gestures like that, and then trying to teach my elderly people how to do technology, to do a video visit,
Yes.
if they couldn't come in. And some of them were afraid to come in which I understood. They didn't want to wait in a waiting room. But, trying to figure out how to sort through teaching them and guiding them through how do you do a video visit so that I can see what's going on with you to keep you from coming in the office. Those were difficult things to kind of to tailor through, that you had to put systems in place and kind of troubleshoot with some other people to figure out what's the best way to make this happen. And then you have to come up with a plan B, because sometimes the video's not going to work, or they're not going to figure it out. So we had to use a lot of creativity
Yes.
in terms of trying to reach patients.
And it's very important that people understand that the manner in which physicians operate is very parallel with how pastors operate, where we serve people. We're here to serve. That's what ministry is about. Ministry means, or a minister is one who serves. I believe physicians such as yourselves and the host of other frontline essential workers, especially in the medical field, have a heart and a passion for people.
Yeah.
As you said, you come in, your patients were used to getting hugs, your children, things of that nature. Your patients, they're used to you literally being in their mouth and in their noses.
Plus, they got hugs too.
And so you had to give them a hug to calm them down. And I got to be honest and proud to say, both of these physicians, these wonderful physicians, are my physicians. I support their business, not only with verbal promotion, but I support their business by being a patient as well. And my very first ENT exam, I was having some vocal issues. I think I was preaching too hard, and you would tell me, Pastor, drink water, Pastor, do this and that. And I went in for a visit, and that was a humbling experience. I got to admit, my faith had to go to another level. The Holy Ghost had to just lock me to the chair, because inserting that instrument,
A little tube.
now you said a little tube. It felt like it was a water hose.
It's a spaghetti.
A spaghetti. Okay, it felt like a fireman's water hose in my nostrils. But I am blessed and better because God has planted people like both of you in this ministry and in our life. And just recently, I'm happy to announce that I've also signed up to be a patient at the Family Life Wellness Center, and Dr. Maxwell is my general practitioner as well. And so I am just blessed, surrounded by people who love God, who are spirited, and who also are passionate about their profession. And I have to ask you this: what made you desire to become a doctor? Like most people ask me, what made you want to be a preacher? Like, I didn't want to be a preacher. It's a calling. And many pastors I know ran from it. We ran in every direction but the right direction. But because being a physician is a calling. Everyone doesn't have the intestinal fortitude to perform surgeries. And some people just faint at the sight of blood. Everyone can't handle just the invasive experience of looking in someone's throat and up their nasal passages. What made you want to become a doctor? I'll start with you, since you're the senior expert here on the panel.
You see, in my family, my mom's a nurse, and all my siblings did engineering. All my siblings did engineering, and my mom's a nurse. And I think my mom being a nurse, that had a great impact on me, and I saw how much she cared and how much she helped people.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't want to do physics. I don't know if I want to do electrical engineering and aerospace engineering. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to walk in mom's footsteps. And then that led me to the healthcare industry, and then I decided I wanted to do medicine. And then in med school, it was a challenge because I really liked all the specialties, but then I had to say to myself, what would you miss? And I'm very hands-on-y, and I love operating and using my hands. And I said, you know what, I'd miss surgery. So ENT was a great opportunity to combine medicine and surgery together. And I like it. You feel like an artist. You're taking something apart and putting it back together, making it better, and I enjoy doing that.
Wow, that's phenomenal. So in essence, you followed in your mother's footsteps. Mama made me do it. I love it. And that shows the impact and the impression that she made on your life, not just as a mother, but as a professional as well. So I salute that. What made you want to become a doctor, Dr. Maxwell?
So when I was 14,
Yes.
I witnessed my grandfather go through cancer.
Wow.
And it went pretty rapidly. And it was very fascinating to me to see the doctors, nurses working on him. I wanted to know what they were doing. I wanted to know the lingo they were using, what the words meant. I wanted to know what the medicines were in the bag. I had all of that curiosity.
Yes.
And then I would go home after we visited him and hear my family talk about whatever the doctor said, and they were as confused as I was. And it was very frustrating to me, and I said, I want to be a doctor, and I want to make sure that my patients don't go home and have these kind of conversations, that they know what's going on, that I explain to them in simple terms, and that they have access to me even after the visit, you know, what's going on with me. So that is what sparked me and put me on the path to medicine.
Wow, amazing. And so both of your families had a significant influence and impact in your desire to pursue your passion, whether through just watching your mother serve in that capacity or seeing a family member succumb to sickness and still struggling with terminologies and understanding medicine and things of that nature. And so as you began your journey into medicine, I'm sure you had plenty of ideas of what school you want to go to, what area you want to master in and serve in. So what was your next step with school? Where did you go to school? Where did your education experience start? We'll start with you, Dr. I know you said New York.
Yeah, but Flushing, Queens, I started and did undergrad. And then I said, hey, if I don't get into med school, I want a degree that I can do something with.
Now,
So
where'd you go to med school?
SUNY Buffalo.
SUNY
State
Buffalo,
University
yes.
of New York in Buffalo. Yes, I did chemistry for undergrad, then I trained in Buffalo, did med school in Buffalo, and I also did residency in Buffalo.
Wow.
So I was there for 9 years and then came down here after.
So you stayed in a place where you couldn't go outside. So all you had to do was read and study with all that snow.
I learned to ski. Oh, no. When you're in Rome, do as the
That's
Romans.
called making the best out of a bad situation.
Yeah.
That's it, skiing and snowmobiling and everything else. I love
Whitewater
it.
rafting, you name it.
Who would have thought coming from Jamaica, you would find a home in the snow?
That's all right. You make the most of it.
I
You
love it.
adapt.
I love it. Dr. Maxwell, where did you start your journey, your education journey? And
So I started at Spelman College.
Spelman in the
Atlanta.
house, all right.
Spelman's in the house,
Yes.
HBCU. And so did 4 years there, then went to medical school, University of Tennessee, which is in Memphis for the medical school.
Yes.
And was there for 4 years, and then did my family medicine residency right up about an hour outside of Memphis in Jackson, Tennessee. And then I made my way to Charlotte.
Come on to the Carolinas.
Come on to the Carolinas.
And the Carolinas are blessed to have both of you.
we love it.
Now, I have to be honest and ask this question. With everything that's happening in the world, not only with COVID, but politically and socially, social uprising and things of that nature, unfortunately, racism and racist acts are still prevalent. We've seen it on the 6th of last month during the insurrection at the Capitol and so many other unfortunate demonstrations of division and racism and sexism and things of that nature. As a minority business owner, I mean, you were hit with a double whammy. You're an African-American female operating in what many would assume to be a male-dominated and respected profession. But now here are two strong sisters from Jamaica and matriculating at Spelman who don't take no shorts. Those are super strong sisters coming out of Spelman. How has your experience been in the medical field as a minority entrepreneur? And then, not only did you enter what some would assume a male-dominated profession, you started your own practice, your own businesses. So what has been your experience in being a minority-owned owner in a medical profession?
So,
What challenges, what experiences,
well, in terms of experiences, I'd have to say you've learned a lot along the way, which is not a good thing to have to say, but you have to admit it. And simple challenges like when you're in med school and trying to channel minority students into one area over another area, or when you come out to practice thinking you have to do a certain thing. Right. So you've learned to overcome, and you've learned to stay focused. Yes. And that's what I've done. I've stayed focused, and I give my best. Yes. So I'm not worried about what other people feel of me or if they want to have a black physician providing care. I know once they come to me, they'll get the best from me.
That's right.
And they'll do well. So I focus on that. What can I give? And it's your loss if you don't want to come to me. In terms of colleagues, no matter what business you're in or what industry, you're going to have people who will discourage you and their obstacles, and I just go around them.
There you go.
They're too insignificant. They're not going to stop me. And the more you try to stop me, the harder I'm going to try. So I don't even waste my breath or waste my time focusing on them.
I love it.
But you do have challenges, and you just learn to go around them. And you also try to look out for other people coming behind you to make sure they understand and they're strong enough to move around, be a support for them, a role model.
Yes,
Yeah.
Amazing. Dr. Maxwell, what's some of your experiences?
Yes, I have to agree at looking at, what are the obstacles and, trying to make your way around it. One of the things in contract negotiations that I had going through a lot of those over the last year is dealing with the perception of being the angry black woman when something isn't done right.
Yes.
And it was not my fault, but it was your fault.
That's
so
right.
coming across and trying to balance that, I don't want to appear the angry black woman, but in actuality, I'm really being direct and I'm being honest that your work was subpar and you
But
didn't
you're
do
the
what you
professional
said.
black woman
To-
who expects excellence.
Exactly.
That's right.
So, trying to maneuver those, it's a very tough balancing act, but, we've learned along the way how to kind of finesse our words and remind ourselves, don't take it personal.
That's right.
Because it is, it's just something that we face. And so we just have to remind ourselves of the queens we are and keep moving.
I love it. I love it. And because of your tenacity, your ability to see it through, as we say, you have become successful in your area of medicine. And especially now, we're dealing with, I think the latest poll reflected in the range of 500,000 lives have been lost to COVID. Millions have contracted the virus. What can we do as citizens? Those of us who, some have to go back out into the public. Even now, states are removing. Tennessee and I believe Mississippi the governors have just announced they are removing the mask mandate and requirements. All businesses in those states are opening back up to 100% full capacity. And I believe, unfortunately, other states are going to follow. Some are looking at, the economy and things of that nature as a deciding factor on why we need to go back in that direction, just when the vaccine is now becoming readily available to the majority of citizens. I think we're in phase 1B or 2, maybe early 3 or whatever it is. What can we do to encourage citizens to look favorably upon, or let me phrase it this way, how necessary do you feel the vaccine is in moving our nation back to some realm of normalcy?
Well, it's very necessary. And what we have to understand, we take vaccines for granted.
Yes.
Like I saw whooping cough once in my entire 20 years of practice. You
Wow.
know why? Because there's a vaccine. I don't know polio. You know why? Because there's a vaccine. So we need to stop using that nonsense or, not thinking about what are we saying when we say we don't trust this vaccine.
Yes.
And first of all, listen to the people who are telling you to go back out there. Do they really care about you? Do they care about your well-being?
Wow.
I would say, no, they don't. Think about it. Wear your mask. How does it hurt to wear your mask?
Yes.
How does it hurt to stay 6 feet from somebody?
Right.
Why would you not want to take the vaccine? If you know that the flip side is if I contract this or my loved one contracts this virus, they may end up on the ventilator. A lot of us have seen lives that have been lost because of it. So if we're just honest and think about it, it's nonsensical not to get the vaccine. You know what?
Yes.
When we were offered, I was one of the first ones online. Think about it. Why are they going to have their doctors, their surgeons, all
Yes.
have the vaccine if they think it's going to hurt somebody?
That's
Guys, we have to use our common sense. Go and get the vaccine. We're now falling behind. The African Americans
Yes.
are not being
Please say that
vaccinated
again.
at a rate that other races are, and it kills us. It hurts us a lot more. And if you think about it, you really know there are so many people that you probably know who've been affected. So go out there, get your vaccine. Well, they said there were 3 W's. Wear the mask.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands. Okay, and stay away 6 feet.
Well, we're 7 tonight, so we even further.
Right.
But
Well,
yes.
my fourth one is walk as fast as you can to go get the vaccine. So go get your vaccine.
I love it. Dr. Maxwell, how important do you think it is for us to remove the political lens and look at COVID and the accessibility of the vaccine from a rational perspective? I mean, because as Dr. Williams just stated, we've had so many people have lost their lives to it, some family members, friends, coworkers, classmates, but yet it has become so political that I think it has tainted the perspective and the rational thinking of people. And now we are hanging our hopes on political leaders to lead us through a medical crisis. So what do you think about the vaccine and what should we do?
Yes, I agree that everyone should get it. I do understand the distrust. We've had a lot of things that's happened historically to the African American community that can put distrust out. However, looking at the evidence behind this vaccine, I can tell you I was skeptical up until about January until I looked at all the data myself. And I felt very comfortable. And again, like Dr. Williams said, they're not going to get rid of all the doctors.
Right.
That would be crazy to do that. They can't get rid of all the doctors. And when we think about what things we put in our body just on a routine basis that we don't know what's in it, when we go to Popeyes, when we go to McDonald's, when we go get the supplements that you bought offline that's got 15 different ingredients and you can't pronounce half of them, but you'll take it. You'll take it for your mood, you'll take it for your sexual health, you will take it, all of this stuff, and you have no idea what's in it. But now you have gotten a vaccine. We know that COVID will kill you. We know can kill you. We know that you can have long-term complications, being on dialysis, losing limbs, having heart issues. We know those things.
Yes.
But you don't know some of these other supplements that you've gotten, and you're trying those. So, just be common sense about it.
That's right. And you said something key. Do your research. Ask questions. You can't ask a politician medical questions. You can't even ask a preacher medical questions. You have to follow or ask questions to those professionals who have been trained and educated and specialized in that field. And so, are you recommending the vaccine to your patients?
Of course. Oh, yeah. Every breath that I can, I do recommend it. Oh, yeah. And the only thing that I think is a little frustrating for why we haven't gotten it, apart from the distrust, is also access. Because my father's 86, and I had to go online trying to sign up. And every time I'd sign up, you have to wait 2 months, 3 months. So if you're having that difficulty, I think you need to call your primary care physician, because some elderly people won't go online and get it. But talk with your physician. Or they can't. So talk with your physicians, ask your family members to help you, but do all you can to get the vaccine. Yes, I highly recommend it.
Dr. Williams, Maxwell, are you recommending it as well to your patients? I know you've recommended it to me, and I go for my first vaccination on Friday, so I'm excited about that.
Congrats.
That's right. I'm doing what I need to do to get back into the house of the Lord with the congregation, but nevertheless, are you recommending it as well?
I'm recommending it to all of my patients. I have had both doses myself. My dad got his second dose today, and I always tell people that I talk to, I don't recommend things that I wouldn't tell my family members to do, and that's how I treat my patients. That's how I treat myself, and so, yes, absolutely. Get the vaccine.
Yes, and it's important that we receive information from those who have insight and knowledge regarding that area that you're interested in.
And those who care about you. Because you
Please
really
say
have
that
to
again.
think about
Yes.
these politicians. Do they have your primary interest
Yes.
at heart? They couldn't care less. They're caring about a vote. So we have to ask ourselves, does this person mean the best for me? Talk to your physician. Talk to your family members. Talk to your friends who've had it. Yeah.
That's right. Because why ask a politician for medical information? Their main focus is getting your vote. And I'm not saying elected officials don't care about their constituents. I know that's not true. However, their focus, though, is keeping you around long enough just to get a vote. And whatever the lobbyist is pushing, whatever direction those lobbyists are pushing these elected officials in, unfortunately, many of them succumb to that pressure, the pressure of the dollar. But you said something, Dr. Williams, so profound that you have to receive information from people who genuinely care about your welfare, the totality of your life, and not just one area of your life. So I commend you for that, and I encourage all of you, if you do not have a primary care physician, please, ma'am, sir, go on to FamilyLightWellness.com, and you'll be able to hear information and see information regarding Dr. Crystal Maxwell. You can also go to the SinusCenter.com.
Carolina Sinus
You know what? Let's do this before I mess it up
Yeah.
and have you going all over the internet. I'm going to allow Dr. Williams just to share her website, Facebook information, any contact information, so that you can look her up, find out, and know that she's legit. She loves God. She loves her patients, and she's here to serve. Tell them how to get in contact with you, Dr.
Guys,
Williams.
you can reach us at carolinasinuscenter.org, or if you want to use a number instead, 803-328-3686.
CarolinaSinusCenter.org. CarolinaSinusCenter.org. Someone writing on Facebook, please scribe that on the screen. CarolinaSinusCenter.org. Dr. Andrea Williams, she'll be happy to entertain any questions. Come in for
Any ear, nose, and throat, above the
ENT
shoulder,
specialist, your ears,
issue.
your nose, your throats.
Allergies,
Allergies.
sinuses.
I'm about to go for my allergy exam for this year so I can make sure I'm doing the right thing. Dr. Maxwell, please tell us how to find you and where you're located on social media, your website information.
I am Light Family Wellness, and it's www.lightfamilywellness.com, and the telephone number is 704-594-1140, and I can be found on Facebook as well as Instagram.
Yes, lightfamilywellness.org.
Come.
I need to go see my ear, nose, and throat specialist. I can't hear well. LightFamilyWellnessCenter.com. Please, somebody write that on the screen so everyone can see it. Please visit their website, make an appointment for an exam, a consultation. Your body is your temple, and you only get one of these. We only get one body, and we got to do our best to protect and preserve our body. I pray that the information that you received tonight, you heard tonight, has motivated you to get up from where you are, to change certain areas of your life regarding your health practices. We encourage you to exercise more, drink more water. Matter of fact, I'm not the medical professional, so I'm going to give you a final word. You can say hello, thank you, whoever, to you, give some shout-outs to your husbands, your beautiful kids, all of that. But leave us with one or two challenges, some encouraging challenges that we need to do as we're changing seasons now. Spring is coming, things of that nature. We're still dealing with COVID. Give us some closing, encouraging challenges that you would encourage us to do as patients.
Guys, we've been in this for a year.
Yes.
If you've survived a year, you might as well just wait. For the next 6 months, wear your mask, wear your 2 masks, socially distance,
Yes.
and get your vaccine. Please get your vaccine so we can all get through this and get back to a more normal life.
Yes.
The quicker we all work together on this, the healthier we'll be.
Yes, thank you so much. You want to say hello to anybody? Give a shout out to somebody.
Shout
Come on
out to
now,
my
you got to
husband,
go home. There you
Leon,
go.
and Anaya, and of course the Carolina Sinus Center team.
There you go. That's right. Dr. Maxwell.
I'll give a shout out to my husband, Carlton
Yes.
Maxwell, and my daughter, Caitlin Maxwell.
Now you got to put some spec on his name now.
Reverend Doctor.
Reverend Dr. Carlton. Man, that's right.
Maxwell.
That's right.
And Madam Caitlin
The princess.
Maxwell. Yeah, she's my office manager. She keeps me in check. What my recommendation would be, being in the pandemic, there have been a lot of people who've put off their preventive screenings, colon cancer screening, pap smears, breast cancer screening, following up with their glucose, blood pressure. Those things are still very important. People are still dying from heart attacks, diabetes every day. And so please make sure that you are knowing your numbers. That was one thing that I always advocated in my talks, is please make sure that you know your numbers and that you're following up with your primary care docs, having those conversations about what screenings need to be done and making sure that any medications that you need are properly adjusted. If you're afraid about going into the doctor's office, just let your primary care team know your concerns so that they can talk to you about what strategies they've done to make sure that you're safe when you go into the doctor's office. But please do reach out to your team, and if you feel that you can't talk with your physician, please find one who you can talk to, because if they don't care about you, then you should find somebody who really does care about you.
That's right.
They'll go to Light Wellness.
There you go. That's right. If you feel as though you're not getting excellence in your care from where you're currently being served, in your ENT specialist or your primary care physician, I proudly recommend, highly recommend these two phenomenal women who God has blessed and gifted with the grace of serving the masses in the medical profession. And I want to encourage every one of you again to please take what we're facing and what we're dealing with COVID-19 seriously. This is not a joke. This isn't something we can sing over, shout over, high-five our neighbor over, because we can't high-five anybody now. We've got to be gravely careful and take these preventative measures and these precautionary measures to save our lives and to protect the lives of those around us. And so I am grateful for both of you sharing tonight. This has been an exciting night, an informative night, and I believe that someone is going to heed to this information and pursue setting up some appointments to do some pre-screening. And now, I got to ask you the business side of the profession. Do you accept insurance? How do we take care of our expenses? What can we do to obtain your services? How does that work? Dr. Williams.
So we accept all major insurances, including Medicaid and Medicare.
Okay.
Yeah.
So bring your cards and all the identification, all that.
Right. If you don't have insurance, there is also a discounted cash rate. So
Okay.
we can take care of anybody.
Wonderful, wonderful. No excuses. Yes, ma'am. Dr. Maxwell, please.
So my practice is a little bit different. I don't bill insurance. It's a
Okay.
membership-based practice, meaning
Yes.
I have a smaller patient panel so that I can actually give more personalized services to my patients, and they have direct access to me where they can text me or email me when they have a question or a concern or something that pops up. So that just facilitates a lot easier process for me being able to see my patients. So the rates are very affordable, less than most people's cell phone bills each month.
Yes. Yeah, and especially if you keep upgrading every 6 months for these new cell phones. And how does that help the patient if, unfortunately, they may not have insurance, or even if they have insurance, their insurance may not cover every procedure. And so the membership plan sort of fills that gap, I would assume.
Exactly. Whether you have insurance or not, most people have a $2,000 to $5,000 deductible depending on your plan. For most people, that are part of my practice, it's less than $1,000 a year to be a member. And so you still don't even reach your deductible. So you have no surprise billing. It's very transparent on the price. You know how much you're paying every month. Yes. And so there's no surprises, and you don't have that question of, well, I don't know if I should go to the doctor because I don't want to pay my copay if I don't need it. And then you end up sicker or something worse happens. Yes. You don't have to worry about that. It's just that same monthly fee every month, and it's unlimited to how much you can have access to me to do those follow-ups. So it just simplifies the process, saves you on your deductible, and saves you from that pit that you get at your stomach when you get that bill after you've had your doctor's visit, and you're like, oh wait, I paid my copay. Now I have the co-insurance and deductible after the visit 2 to 3 weeks later. It saves you from that.
It's not the pit of your stomach. My sinuses lock up. Then I got to go see my ENT specialist, and then my ears get clogged up. Then I can't talk. So, trust me, your plan is definitely a wonderful option for those that may not want to pursue the insurance route, but are able to be a part of the membership plan route. Let me tell you, and we get ready to close, let me tell you how phenomenal both of these sisters are. Not only are they prolific physicians, Dr. Williams, you are also the proud entrepreneur of the Jerk Joint Jamaican restaurant there in Charlotte, North Carolina. Please tell us about the Jerk Joint. Give us the website. It is delicious food, healthy food, but delicious food. I support that business as well. So please, I didn't want us to leave without knowing about the Jerk Joint.
Okay, so the Jerk Joint is a Jamaican restaurant.
Yes.
The recipes are all my mom's recipe, and my husband and I decided to create our own franchise, our own in the model, and it serves really wonderful Jamaican food. Authentic. Jerk
real
chicken,
deal.
oxtails. My husband's always there. He's funny. He says, I'm the Jamaican, he's the Jamaican. And, he enjoys people, and you'll have a good time. Go there, support us, and enjoy the food. You really, I think you really like it.
Yes, chicken
And it's
patties and cocoa bread.
jerkjointrestaurant.com. You
I'm
can
sorry,
go online.
Jerkjointrestaurant.com. Somebody write that on the screen, jerkjointrestaurant.com.
And
the
we do
best chicken patties and cocoa bread. Listen, that's all good. Go ahead.
And there's one more business.
Yes.
Yourlaundryisdone.com. So we pick up laundry all throughout Charlotte, and we
How many jobs do you
guarantee.
have?
That's my husband. He does the restaurant, the laundry.
So the
Yourlaundryisdone.com. Yes.
Yourlaundryisdone.com. Yourlaundryisdone.com.
You don't have to worry about doing laundry. Don't waste time. You can spend the time with your family, and we pick up the laundry. It's delivered within 24 hours. Oh, yeah.
Listen, you can get your ears checked, your nose checked, your throat checked. Then go to the jerk joint and get you some curry goat and rice. Then if you spill something on your clothes, you can take them off, put them in a bag. They'll pick up your laundry. It's done. It'll bring it back to your house. And then once you finish all of that, if you feel any aches or pains, then you can go to the Family Light Wellness Center. You see how this all works? All things work together. Lord have mercy, this is wonderful. And not only are you a prolific entrepreneur, Dr. Maxwell, and I had to do some research because you're very modest. I got to admit that you're very modest, but you are an excellent as well. You were recognized as the 2015 South Carolina Primary Health Care Provider of the Year. That is phenomenal. And so we celebrate you for that. How did that happen? I mean, not how did it happen, but I mean, wow. Please tell us, how did you feel when you were recognized as the Provider of the Year by the South Carolina Primary Health Care Association?
I was shocked. I was very elated to have it done. One of my nurses, and she didn't even tell me that she was nominating me.
Wow.
But she wrote a letter about how she felt as me being the physician in the office that I was in, and the impact that I had on her, and words from the community. And I was thoroughly shocked and elated to have won that honor. So, yeah.
Well, the word says your gift to make room for you, and it'll set you before kings and princes. And I believe that is what God is doing in both of your lives. We are blessed here at Freedom Temple Ministries to have both of you serve, not just as parishioners, but as ministry leaders. Both of you serve in ministry leadership here, our Freedom Temple Healthcare Ministry, and serve in so many other capacities. I'm blessed to serve you as your pastor. I'm blessed for you to be in my life as my physicians and primary care physicians and ENT, and I'm going to learn how to say the professional name for that by the time next time I come, but the ENT specialist for me, and I thank you so much for it. I want to thank all of you who've logged on tonight, who have supported this FED presentation, our Freedom Economic Development Division presentation tonight. We're going to be doing this once a month, where we will be highlighting and promoting businesses from throughout our Freedom Temple Ministries congregation. And so we want to encourage every business owner, every entrepreneur who's a part of our Freedom Temple Ministries family, whether locally or globally. Since COVID has hit, God has expanded the borders of this ministry globally, and we have many who have connected with this ministry, support this ministry, literally from all over the world. We want to support you in return. And so please share your business information with us. You can email us here at the church at FTM-Rockhill.org. You can share it on the screen, and our social media leaders will obtain that information. Email it to us. The information is right there available to you so that we can identify your business and, most of all, pray and support your business in return. So I thank you again for joining us for this special edition of our Walking in Freedom live stream broadcast. And as always, from my heart to yours, be blessed and walk in the freedom of Almighty God. God bless you. Have a great evening.